All right, here we go. As JP says, another day, another live stream. We had a few technical issues yesterday. Hopefully they won't come up today. Please let me know if you can watch the stream in HD, if it's showing up as quality being in 1080p and above. Actually, 1080p will be the max, so please let me know if everything's fine. HD? Okay, perfect. Right, here we go. What an interesting day. We were talking about the possibility of Bitcoin potentially losing momentum yesterday and then dipping lower, but also the fact that Bitcoin was wedged, well, it wasn't wedged, but was right in between two significant areas, this yellow support line and this green resistance area. Because we were right in the middle, I was hoping that we would continue to trade higher, and that is exactly what happened. Thank you for all of the comments. Pablo, I love the streaming too. Love seeing you all here. I'm seeing the same names all the time. Let's shoot up the likes. We were right in between these two significant levels, and we've ended up doing the sensible thing. It would have been nice if we did end up coming down here to confirm the support level, but honestly, I do think that this is better because I would like to see us, complete this rally instead of, cutting it short and trading lower. This is the most typical pattern for charts for markets to paint, in my opinion, where they will leave one, they will break one area of strong resistance and rise right up to the next one, which is right over here. It is the most typical thing within these markets. We see it all the time. Another good example, very, very easy example to look at, was what happened right here. We ended up dropping below this yellow line and fell right down to this yellow line down here. I mean, it's perfect. We knew that this was a strong area of resistance in the past. If we trace it back, this was also a reversal point in the market. This market fell from one level down to another, fell from one important level down to another important level. This is absolutely great, and we've seen the same thing almost fully see its way through today. I love it. I am so happy with this price action. Let's zoom in and take a look at what high we set within this market. Our previous 4-hour candle ended up topping out, looking at the OHLC, looking at the high specifically. Our previous candle ended up topping out at $13,767, which is only $33 away from my target at 13.8k. Obviously, my line wasn't placed at exactly the correct level, but it doesn't matter. 13.8 was the key resistance area. 14k is the relative area of resistance, and we went there within $33, which I think is absolutely great. And actually, I think that this is enough to count it as a rejection. I'm not saying we got a big rejection here at all. I mean, if anything, we might just be in a bull flag right now, so this is pretty good, but what I am saying here, absolutely, is that I think on this chart at the moment, we just coming this close to the resistance area at 13.8. By the way, 13.8 is over here with this orange line. It's not the green line, it's the orange line. Actually, I think now is the time where I changed this green line into a box because a green line is not accurate enough, unfortunately. So let's draw this box down. Something a little bit like this is probably enough. And now zoom in. Here we go. This is what it looks like more or less. And this is why I think that what we had right now might count as a rejection. And this is just me being super technical. Like, realistically, between you and I don't really think that's the case. I think that we are probably just going to continue trading higher, just going off what I see right now. Obviously, my perspective will change based off how this evolves, and those of you who are not watching this live will probably know the answer. But from what I'm seeing right now, this does look like a bull flag. However, just looking at a bull flag would mean we continue trading higher, or it would usually mean that. But yeah, we did start to get a bit of a dip. And, crucially, if we take a look at this, measuring this from the high to the low that we set, this dump happened very quickly. We dropped by 1.67%. So, I mean, this is enough to constitute a rejection in some people's books. Obviously, a more a more substantial rejection would mean falling down to this level over here. And actually, that's the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about. As we go along, just keep letting me know if there are any technical issues. I don't think there are any. I think I've fixed them today, but just let me know if you could, please. But this brings me on to the next point, where if Bitcoin does end up getting a rejection and it starts trading very low, then I think that we have a lot to look forward to. As far as support goes, take a look at this on the 1 hour time frame. This 1 hour Ichimoku cloud, I think, is going to widen and get something like this, where it's going to provide us a nice area of support. On the 4 hour time frame, this Ichimoku cloud of support keeps getting higher. On the 1 day, it keeps rising higher. I told you yesterday that this 1 day Ichimoku cloud may, thank you very much, everyone's saying there's no issues with the stream, this 1 day Ichimoku cloud may be rising all the way up to this yellow line, and it's continuing to do that. So our support is getting higher. What does this mean? It means that the worst case scenario, in my opinion, for Bitcoin keeps getting better. Right, it means that if we drop lower, we have more support levels below us, we have stronger support levels below us, we have more reasons to make a recovery the higher we trade. Especially if we're able to break above this $13,800 level, if we're able to go above $14,000, if we are able to close a daily candle or a weekly candle above this green line, ideally both, obviously, then I think we would really have clear skies to rise a lot higher. At the moment, we do have the potential to set a double top within this market. I'm going to use a line just because it's easy, just for simplicity, but at the moment we do absolutely have the potential to set a double top within this market, which is a little bit concerning to me. The reason that this is a bit concerning is if we do set a double top over here, and in fact if where we topped out today is actually the real top, and if we're not able to rise back up to $13,767, which is the high that we set today, if we are not able to rise back up to that level, then we've actually set technically a lower high. And that is exactly the same thing that I kept talking to you guys about for a really long time when we were trading in this rally, where I kept saying that we're setting lower highs and I was actually losing confidence in the trend. This might be the same thing right now. If we do end up getting a rejection here and falling down to this level, obviously I would expect a support hit. This would actually be a beautiful, in my opinion, a beautiful long entry, although I don't need to worry about that because currently I'm already in something crazy like 130% profit. I don't even know, but very high, and so I don't really need to worry about that. But falling down to this level could definitely be a nice long entry, in my opinion, and an entry for me to take up some long positions on Bitcoin and then carry trading it higher. But if this support level fails, yeah, then I think we're going to start to enter some rough territory. And the reason I think that's the case is this 1 hour Ichimoku cloud, it's going to give us support starting on the 24th of November at this price level. So this is literally 27 days later from now, 28 days later from now. This is quite far away that we have the potential to find some support at this price level. This is quite far away, and I don't like that. I think that if we do end up tumbling lower before that point, and if it turns out to be a very big dump, that it could actually be quite disastrous for Bitcoin. And again, this is a very positive time, so nobody wants to hear me talk about it, but I still have to remind you all that when Bitcoin does start to crash, when it does start to dump low, it dumps really quickly. Let's be objective here. Let's not let emotion get in front of us. I know that a lot of people have made a lot of money right now, but I want to take your attention to the drops that we've seen that followed big rallies like this one, right? The drops like this, the drops that we saw over here, and even very recently this drop right here, right? Bitcoin has a very clear reputation now for when it does start to make big moves in the downward direction, it makes those moves very quickly, but more importantly, much more importantly than that, there is absolutely no, in some cases, there has been absolutely no remorse, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's been a relentless sell-off. Yeah, the bulls did not have a chance. The bears just kept driving the price lower and lower, and there was no breathing space. I mean, we zoom in, and the price stopped dropping for a couple. It didn't even stop dropping. It still trended lower even during this falling wedge, and then bam, a much bigger sell-off followed after that. So this is what I want to remind you of at the moment. It's not going to be the first time that Bitcoin does this if it does end up dropping very quickly, and I still think that the risk of that is very high. That's why VIP members have always seen me move my stop loss into break even. My my strategy as a trader has always been, for a very, very long time, for as long as I can remember now, to first and foremost protect my money. Because, as you know, it is very difficult to recover from losses as a trader. It puts you in a bad mindset. It makes you revenge trade, and more importantly, most importantly, it takes more effort to make back what you've lost in terms of percentage gains and losses. A 50% drop on your money will mean that you need to double your money just to break even. If you lose 90% of your money, then you need to do something like 11 times. You need to multiply your money by 11 times just to break even. And that is very difficult to do. Not for VIP members, apparently, not for some VIP members, but broadly speaking, it is very difficult to do. And that's why my primary concern is always protecting my capital. And that's one of the beautiful things about VIP, where members have continuously seen day in and day out, while I've been booking profits, I've been navigating losses. Haven't had any losses recently, but when I do have these losses, when I do make these gains, how I still navigate my risk management to make sure that my money is always as safe as I can possibly make it. Very, very important stuff. Our 50% discount ends tomorrow. Literally ends tomorrow. It's going to be gone after that. We're getting a lot of messages, so just a warning in advance. If you do message me to join VIP after tomorrow, even if your payment, for example, you haven't been able to process it after tomorrow, I might not be able to respond to you. Obviously, I'll do my best, but there's been so much load which might make it difficult. If you want to join, you can pause the live stream here and message me just to find out what the offer is. It's 50% off at the moment. But here we go, back to the chart. That is a potential, worst case scenario at the moment. I still think it's too early. I mean, just looking at this chart, God forbid I zoom in even further, this could very much be the start of some sort of a bull flag where we end up consolidating a little bit and then bam, we end up breaking higher. Obviously, this would be the best case scenario in my opinion, and actually we're already seeing Ethereum doing what Ethereum does best. I'm not sure if it's still the case, but let's just check it out. Measuring this from the low that Bitcoin fell to all the way to its current price, Bitcoin is up by 1.05%. And Ethereum is up by, Ethereum's actually seen a slightly smaller gain. But on average, Ethereum has been performing better than Bitcoin once it started rallying. And I think that if Bitcoin does start to have some more meaningful sideways trading, like what happened over here, what happened over here is actually what led Ethereum to pop off. Let me show you this. This was very, very nice. I actually told VIP members that I was interested in trading Ethereum specifically because of this. It's the same thing that I was looking at for quite a while. And let me show you exactly what this looks like. This is a new trade that I've already told VIP members about. Always looking to enter trades during a market like this. Obviously, I've got to be careful as possible, but I also need to know when to be aggressive, and I think this is one of those times. And as we can see over here, Bitcoin was overall trending lower during this time, but that gave Ethereum a chance to trend higher. And then when Bitcoin started breaking out again, so did Ethereum. So these things were happening beautifully, but Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin just a little bit, which I think is very, very important. I think that's an important observation to keep in mind. And so my eyes are still on Ethereum. I was in a 45% profit, but I did end up getting stopped out on the rest of it at break even. And like I said, I'm very much intending on getting back up there. Actually, the profit potential on this Ethereum position it rises right up into the triple digits once again. My Bitcoin position is once again in a triple digit profit. You've seen how I did that with Ethereum just last month, and now I'm in another triple digit profit on Bitcoin. This information is very outdated at the moment. Nearly hit that on Tron as well. These big gains are coming in at the moment just because the market is so hot. And the good news about it is, and I made a voice message about this in FORFLIES Gold. Once again, if you're not in the FORFLIES Gold channel and in VIP, then you are missing out on a lot of free analysis as well. But what I said in this voice message is that even if Bitcoin does end up dumping down from here, there's going to be so much price action, in my opinion, that it could turn out to be a very, very juicy market, to trade on the way down and on the way up. And that is something I'm definitely excited to do as well. Let me take a look at some of the notes I've got as well. My analyst wanted me to talk about the risks of a correction at the moment. So once again, I am going to focus this video on the potential downside. I think it's very important. I have a really, really interesting update for you guys with one of these altcoins as well. I did mention I'm not going to talk about Litecoin, and I'm still not going to do that because only VIPs have seen information on that lately. But there is another coin in this list which I want to bring your attention to, which I will do later in this video. It has a beautiful, beautiful setup. It's actually exactly what I enjoy trading so much. Bitcoin here, though, looking at what we have is definitely we're starting to inch towards a 1,000-day high. Let's actually let me show you exactly what that looks like. Let's take it over to this chart over here because I haven't drawn anything. Let's switch it over to the daily chart and remove everything here, and let's just trace this back 1,000 days. I mean, this is so dramatic, but take a look at this. I mean, we haven't been to this level for nearly 1,000 days, or a little bit more in fact, which is just absolutely amazing. We are we're right on the brink of breaking that 2019 high, which I think is great, but like I said, that double top could be the perfect ingredient for what could turn out to be a multi-month bear market. I know that it's difficult to think about at this time. I think that it's difficult to imagine that we could set a double top over here, we could top out over here like we did back over here, but I still think it's possible, and I don't want to rule it out. Until we get that conclusive breakout above this level, I still think that it is absolutely possible for this to happen, and for that reason I need to be very aware of the risks in this market as well. As we're going along, definitely drop your questions in the comment section down below and I will get to them as well. One of the things I am interested in is if Bitcoin does end up retracing from here, where might it fall to? I'm going to answer that question by throwing on a Fibonacci pretty much right where I think this rally really started to pick up, and right there we can see that this 382 retracement level, $12,900, has been a key level for Bitcoin during its consolidation on the way up. It was actually the key resistance area that we encountered first. Moving forward, it was a key support area, which I think is absolutely beautiful. And so if Bitcoin does end up retracing down by 38.2% of this overall rally, if it falls by 38.2%, that will take it down to this level, which I think could be a very nice level as well to potentially look at Bitcoin rising once again. Look at that, Bitcoin pushing 13.7, Ethereum kind of staying sideways for a bit, so hopefully it can do something interesting soon as well. But I think that this is an important Fibonacci level. If Bitcoin does end up falling down, my eyes will be on this level as a small local short-term support area. If it does drop lower, then yeah, I think the other key support area for Bitcoin is going to be around this $12,000 level, which actually we broke with no issues this time around. But this I think is going to be an important level for Bitcoin. If this level breaks as well, if $12,000 does break as well, then I mean, yeah, we've got a little bit of support again in the low 11,000s, but beyond that, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot until we start looking at 10,000 and maybe even below, but it's too soon to talk about that at the moment. If we do rise above this level, then it's a case of asking ourselves, well, when is it a confirmed breakout? When can we consider it to be a confirmed breakout where we've definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, risen above the high that we set in 2019? Well, let's zoom in, and I want to put an exact line. Now, this is going off the Gemini chart, so the chart that you're analyzing might be a little bit different, but this is just to for demonstrational purposes anyway. And as you know, a lot of people will have the rule of it needs to break out either 1% above this line or 3% above this line. And let me show you what that looks like. Let's remove these and drop some lines so we can be a little bit more scientific about it. Rising 1% above this line will put us at $14,000 exactly. So let me drop a line right there, and rising 3% above this line will put us at, yeah, about $14,300. So pretty neat lines over there. These are the two cutoff areas that I think most people would consider a breakout to be at. If Bitcoin does end up rising above either of these two red lines, ideally both obviously, I think that's where we'll start to see some much more bullish sentiments within this market, where people start to really believe that Bitcoin has the potential to break quite high. Until and unless that happens, we do still, in my opinion, have the risk of a double top. In this case, I'm going to go for the 3% rule. It would be, obviously, I'll get very confident if we rise above the 1% level, but if we do rise above the 3% breakout level, then that's going to be much more interesting to me, because this is a market that has been known to fake out and then drop right back down. In fact, 3% might not even be enough for this market, because these markets move like they're all fueled by crack cocaine. It's very dangerous. So 1% will give me a lot of confidence, but 3% will definitely be confirmation for me. And if we can rise above this level by more than 3%, then I would definitely consider that to be the true breakout point for Bitcoin, where it's, you know, its next target, as far as I'm concerned, will be the $17,000 level. And more importantly, and this is the thing that really excites me about this price action, is that the resistance we have higher up, in my view, just keeps getting weaker and weaker, right? The areas that might possibly concern me for Bitcoin get weaker and weaker as Bitcoin goes up. And so the only thing that I think is holding Bitcoin back now is psychology. You know, there is a psychological barrier to break by rising up to this level. That's why we ended up getting that small 1.6% rejection today when Bitcoin went up to its high and then it dropped down to about 13.5 or whatever. I think that's why we saw it. It's because there is some psychological reservation around these levels, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. When fear of missing out does come back, I think, and you know, we might already be there right now, I think that these resistance levels are just too weak. You know, Bitcoin has broken the big ones. I think the biggest one really was $12,000. $14,000 over here is only symbolic, in my opinion. I don't really think that it's anything more than that. And then if we do rise above it, I mean, this 17K level absolutely is great, but I mean, I can count on one hand how many interactions we've had with this price level. Take a look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3. That's it. And if I want to be really picky, I can call these a couple of individual hits as well. This takes it up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still only 6 interactions with this line, and I just don't think that that's enough to hold Bitcoin back. I think that if Bitcoin is able to rise up to this level, that it could end up just completely breaking through, and then the next level is 19.5, where again there is a lot of potential for a double top, but again, it would only be psychological as far as I'm concerned. It would give me a lot more confidence though if these real world markets were following Bitcoin at the moment. This is what I don't like. I'm going to start getting very negative within this live stream now, and you guys know that I have to, you know, like I can't just sit here and tell you things are rosy and stuff like that. I need to always be analyzing both directions, even though I am in a long position right now, which is at something like 132% profit. I still need to be as objective about this as possible, and these real world markets are so important. You know, what I'm seeing over here with these real world markets is, you know, Bitcoin at the moment has just been completely outperforming. I mean, it's up by 5% while the S&P 500 is down by 0.3%. You know, if we look at the dollar index, it's pretty much just stable. It has dropped a little bit today, but not a whole lot. The Dow Jones Industrial is down today, but Bitcoin is really outperforming. And outperforming is fine, right? Like, I mean, you've seen how VIP members outperform the market all the time. You've seen how I've done it as well. Like I said, by the way, here we are. This discount is ending very soon. This post is out of date. You're actually going to get another reminder post in FORFLIES Gold in exactly 11 minutes. So, you know, I just want to quickly read through this with you. You know, sometimes we do retreat so that we can attack when things come to our advantage. And right now, I think that this market is extremely hot, where everything is playing into our hands if we are prepared enough to do it. And you know, the way with the thing about trading is you either play it right or you get played by the market. You know, either you compound backwards or you compound forwards. And the truth about it is that passing on a trade doesn't make you poor. You know, like, you don't have to rush into trading. If you have a beautiful setup but you still say no to it, it's not going to make you poorer. But I think even more importantly than that, or maybe almost as importantly as that, taking profits off the table never made a man poorer. It was actually just before this big dip, and I will get back to the S&P 500 in a minute, but it was just before this big dip that we saw, I took profits on my position. My analyst wanted us to ride it a little bit higher. He wanted me to ride my position a little bit higher, up to 13.8K, but I told him, no, I want to take my profits right now, because it's, you know, the difference between my profit target was either 132% or 140%. And don't get me wrong, the extra 8% is really sexy, but look, it's 132. I don't really give a fuck at that point. You know what I mean? And this is the thing where I always, and I even said it in VIP, taking profits never made a man poorer, and it actually worked very well in my favor. A lot of people will call this the boring road, but in my experience, it's the road that works. It's landed me insane profits. It's the road that I walk daily, and I show VIP members exactly how I do it. You'll see how I'm trading. You'll see how I navigate my trades, how I cool off when I feel like I need to kind of take a break from trading, where I feel that things are getting a little bit too hot for me. You see how I cool off. You see how I navigate these kind of situations. Here's a beautiful message that I got from a member who joined when we used to offer a lifetime plan. We don't offer a lifetime plan anymore because too many people took it, and it was a bad decision, a bad business decision. But he did join on it. He was one of the lucky few, and he mentions over here he made about 25 Bitcoins and 6 Ethereum coins. Now I don't know if this was a typo. My assistant actually showed this to me. It's like, what the fuck is this, 25 Bitcoins? It might not be 25. It might have been 2.5 or 0.25. I don't know. But he has mentioned that the biggest thing he's learned is to walk away and not keep trading. Pure emotion and greed, mentioning thanks and then re-entering his trade, which is absolutely beautiful. And it's exactly the same thing that I mentioned over here. Passing on a trade never makes a man poorer. This kind of lesson is so key to learn, but it's so difficult to learn because it's not exciting. It's not the kind of thing that's exciting. It is, what people call the boring road. But in my experience, it's the road that works. I'm showing you how I'm doing it with all of these gains. I don't think these gains look boring. I don't know, you can tell me. I don't think these gains look boring. But more importantly, these are not the gains that I live for. I'm more interested in the gains that are smaller than this, but where I make them consistently. I'm more interested in making these gains consistently than I am at making home run trades like 132%, 180% on Ethereum like I did last month. These are great, don't get me wrong. When I can make them, I will make them. But I'm more interested in compounding these gains, managing my risk very, very tightly, and when you pick up your membership, you're going to get access to all of this. Like I said, this discount ends tomorrow. If you are ready to level up, then you can click and message at FORFLIES by following these steps right here. Literally just pause the live stream, follow these steps, and come right back so that you can catch the rest of the stream. I will give you all of the information on this. I believe my assistant is still awake right now, so you can gain access to all of that beautiful information where you can see exactly where I'm doing all of these things and see how, and just gain access to the same information that these VIP members have had, where they've closed 130%, 50%, 82% profit, all in the last 3 days. Just absolutely beautiful results, even more from the same person. So cool. So if you want to see how this stuff has been possible, then follow these steps right here. But moving it back to the S&P 500, the thing is, these markets have ended up dropping by just a little bit over the past 24 hours. It hasn't dropped massively, but overall the trend has been downwards. And if I overlay this chart, if I go back to Bitcoin and let's remove these lines, and I throw the S&P 500 on top of this chart, we can actually really start to get an idea of how, let me change this to candles. We can start to get an idea of how correlated the markets used to be compared to how they're not correlated anymore. Take a look at this. The S&P 500 was rising very, very nicely with Bitcoin, alongside Bitcoin, up until this point right here. Bam, I'm going to put a vertical line here so we can see when this trend shifted. It was at this point, Bitcoin was trending lower with the S&P 500, but over here, Bitcoin fully unlatched itself from these global indices markets and different things like gold, for example, and it has just absolutely shot up. This is where the correlation between Bitcoin and the real world markets ended, and that is concerning to me. I love seeing that Bitcoin is outperforming these indices, but I know that it's not sustainable. At least I feel that it's not sustainable, because when this happened in the past, it didn't stick around for a long time. Bitcoin hasn't been able to decouple from these indices markets for a long time, and that means if these markets do drop further, or if they trade sideways, I don't think Bitcoin is going to have enough support to continue trading higher. And that is very concerning to me because right now Bitcoin is trading right in front of a resistance area. That's why it's concerning to me. Right now, what I like to see, what makes me feel very confident in the trend is when Bitcoin is moving along with the same trend as the indices markets like the S&P 500. But right now, that's not happening, and there's just a lot of excitement in the Bitcoin space only. Alibaba saying it's a very bullish sign if Bitcoin decouples. It is a bullish sign, potentially, if Bitcoin decouples, but I don't think that Bitcoin is strong enough to break its path all on its own yet. The reason I don't think that is because it's so recent that these future markets have had complete control over the market, and because of that, I really feel a strong sense of duty to give you guys this warning that if this decoupling continues, and if these global indices end up dropping lower and lower, I mean, the fact that Bitcoin is at resistance right now is very concerning to me. I would much prefer, I would be much happier and much calmer, and I would have a lot less anxiety around this if Bitcoin was moving in line with these indices, because that's what it's always done for a very, very long time now. But it's not doing that, and I don't know how sustainable this rally is because of that. Right now, we have something that I think could potentially be quite a dangerous thing for Bitcoin right at a resistance level, and I just can't ignore that. I just can't ignore that. That's too strong to ignore. I would love to think that Bitcoin is much stronger than these indices at this point, but you and I both know what the deal is. I mean, this is FOMO. This is fear of missing out. This is excitement. This is a little bit of exuberance. I mean, Bitcoin is not, as far as the tech goes, Bitcoin is not, what is this? 30% better than it was 18 days ago. It's not 30% stronger. The tech is not 30% better than it was half a month ago, yet the price has shot up massively. And that's fine because it's all perceived value. It doesn't need to be better, right? Gold didn't get better when it rose. Gold didn't get 0.2% better in the past 24 hours. And so it is just, that the price that people perceive these kind of assets to be worth. But at the very, very same time, this correlation was too strong for me to ignore. And the fact that it has kind of, started to decouple from these markets right at a resistance level, it's just a bit too concerning to me. I'm going to continue to make more content on this. These correlations are really important, and you don't need to do a whole lot of analysis on these global markets to kind of bring it back to Bitcoin, but doing this has saved me and made me a lot of money in the past. If you want to gain access to those videos, if you want to see them right when they go live, then definitely make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I know that there are a lot of new viewers watching these live streams regularly. Shoot up those likes as well. It does help with the algorithm, which I would always appreciate as well. Just a little thing that you can do in return for all of this free content. And like I said, if you are new to the channel, then subscribing will mean that you get to gain access to all these future videos. Turning notifications on means that you get access to them very quickly. So that's all very, very good stuff. And yeah, that correlation is definitely something I want to keep my eye on. If the S&P 500 does end up trading higher, tomorrow or whatever, and we start to recover and the rest of this week is actually pretty green, then I have no worries. Then I'm pretty calm, and Bitcoin can do anything. Bitcoin can trade sideways, it can go down, or it can go up, and I won't really be too concerned because that is going to show me that the correlation is back, and it's basically going to show me that Bitcoin, a small cap asset overall, it's a very small market cap compared to other things, is able to pretty much have the support of big globalized economies, and I think that's a good thing. I'm seeing your messages about VIP, by the way. Like I said, this discount ends very, very soon, so I'll get to you as soon as this live stream ends, or my assistant will pick up your messages. Just pause the video to find out how to join by following these steps right here. Let me know if you have any other questions as we do go along. Going back to my notes here, I mentioned something very, very interesting on the altcoins, and it is on bcash. Take a look at this. bcash right now is really, it's staring down the barrel of all-time lows at the moment. Let me show you what's happening with this chart. It's exactly the same thing that I saw with Cardano. It's the same thing that I traded with Cardano when I made this beautiful, clean 35% profit. It's the same thing I traded when I made this 87% profit. It's the same thing in reverse with my current Bitcoin position and my current Ethereum position. sorry, my previous Ethereum position. So it is definitely the kind of trade that I really enjoy making. I haven't decided if I'll do it yet because I've been doing quite a lot of trading at them, recently. So I might not even be inclined to do it. But it is absolutely something that I'm interested in checking out. And if I do draw a box for you, I mean, this is so interesting because there actually hasn't been a lot of action at these price levels for bcash. We've already dropped below this box actually while I was streaming. Take a look at this. This drop is happening right now. We're actually watching history happen right now. But this box right here did represent pretty much the final support level for bcash. There is no prior trading history on this chart. There might be on another chart, but I don't know about it. And so this is definitely, concerning to me, the fact that we've already dropped below this price level. And I think that if we do end up dipping even lower, I mean, right now we're already looking at all-time lows. I mean, there is no floor. Usually we'd say that the sky is the limit or the floor is the limit. There is no floor for bcash. I mean, unless it goes to zero, obviously. And so this is pretty much anyone's guess for how low it can go. This is a beautiful little gem. And it's important that we're able to notice these things. One of the things I tell you about every now and then is that there is a team behind the FORFLIES brand. It's not just me. We have quite a few people behind this working to make sure we can bring you the best possible free and paid content. And the reason that we don't miss things like this, we don't miss crucial signs like this, or what I did with Cardano and Tron and Bitcoin and Ethereum, is because we have it's not just me on the team, and we were able to spot this. And so what I'm looking at is if bcash does end up rising back up here, then this definitely looks like a short level to me, an area where I can start considering opening a short position on bcash. I think that would be very nice, because like I said, I mean, I don't think it has anywhere to go at this point. It could end up pumping high, and when it does pump high, it pumps quite viciously, right? Take a look at this. Big pumps, which usually are a little bit short-lived. The wicks can also get quite crazy on bcash, so that does make it a little bit dangerous. But in any case, I mean, this looks really good. It looks like a very easy opportunity to potentially, for me, make a fair bit of money. Tron, to give you an update on that, has finally hit my green line target. I'm not in my Tron position anymore. If I would have been, then this would have been 100% profit by now, most likely. So it's a shame that I'm not trading this anymore, but it has now finally hit my green line target, and I think that it might have the potential to drop a little bit lower, but for now, I think that Tron is reaching its floor. Like I said, I'm not going over Litecoin because that is reserved for VIP members, and Cardano has fallen below this level as well. I gave you a warning about this a couple of videos back, and Cardano has now finally fallen below this level again. If it sweeps this low, then I think that it could end up dropping much lower, similar to bcash. And so there are quite a few things to keep an eye on in this market. I think the risk is going up in this market though, so it's going to be very important when I am keeping VIP members up to date with how I'm trading this, that I also tell them about the risk management practices I'm taking, so that I can make sure I'm protecting my money while I stay active in this market, because I do intend on staying active in this market. I just want to do it in the safest way possible. I'm seeing a couple of questions from you guys. Let's see what we got. If you take a look at Bitcoin longs, they're reaching a high level, perfect time to liquidate. Good point, Harris. People used to love talking about the Bitcoin longs. Let me open that chart up again. It's been a while since I've looked at this. We'll do the Phemex longs as we used to. They are very high, although they've been higher, so I'm not too worried about this. Look at these highs that we saw at the turn of the year 2020. I mean, they are high. It could be a time for liquidations, but I mean, I don't even look at this. I don't think that this is particularly a cause for concern. Although, yeah, definitely, it's one of those things which people may end up looking at. I saw a question about the pricing, and you can find out exactly what the pricing is by reaching out to me directly. This, by the way, this gives you direct access to message me. That's why we want you to do it. You can literally talk to me here, which obviously a lot of prominent YouTubers and stuff like that wouldn't have the time to do, but here I am, and if I can't get back to you, then my assistant definitely will as well. Seeing your messages about VIP, it doesn't look like my assistant is on, so I will just reply to you myself right after this live stream. All right, I think that rounds up most of what I wanted to talk about in this live stream. I've covered Ethereum with you. I am very, very interested in what Ethereum does, but I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it because I'm saving those details for VIP members. Dropping down to this level, I think would be a beautiful retracement point. Rising above this level, I've shown you what my targets would be to mean that it's real, in my opinion. We would have to rise up to either of these two red lines to give me confidence in this trend, and if we do rise to the first one, it would give me a lot of confidence, but the second one would be confirmation for me that this thing has clear skies all the way up to $17,000. But again, I don't think that this is going to be a strong area of resistance for Bitcoin, and so 20k could be the next level. The most likely thing that I think Bitcoin might end up doing right now, there's two things I think it'll end up doing. Either it'll just trade sideways, maybe just slightly trading lower, and then bam, break upwards. Or I think it will come down to test one of these support levels like over here, or maybe the support level down here, and then trade higher. In any case, I think Bitcoin is going to trade higher. I think Bitcoin has a higher chance of breaking resistance at $14,000 than it does of trading very, very low. I think Bitcoin is more likely to break up, and I've been saying that for quite a while. I've shown you why, how Bitcoin keeps trying to break the roofs with this price action. We've been doing that for a very, very long time. So I think that it absolutely has the potential to really, really set some very, very beautiful, very appealing highs. And that is obviously something I've got my eyes on at the moment. If we do rise above, then like I said, I mean 17-20k looks super, super cool. And you know, the biggest thing about this is you know, if you are planning on trading this, then it really, really does pay to have the best possible education and start that you can in order to take advantage of this. We've just had a member join us on our yearly plan today with exactly that mindset. He has the perfect winner's mindset. I mean, he has absolutely no fear of missing out with this market. He told me that he's joined our yearly plan purely to just watch what we do and how we do it within the VIP channel, and then, you know, watch through our advanced academy, which is a complete A to Z course on everything I know in trading. I've put it all down for you in video form. It's over 10 hours of very, very powerful content. He wants to watch through the course and watch how we do what we do within the VIP channel for a couple of months before he starts trading. I obviously think that now is a good time to be trading. It's just for me, so a couple of months might even seem a bit too long, but I really do applaud his mindset. And this is the thing, if you do come into this kind of market with these kind of moves, and you know exactly what to do, you know exactly how you're doing it, you've studied it, you've gone through our FORFLIES Advanced Academy, which, like I said, it's A to Z, so it covers things like even which exchanges I'm using and how I'm using them and different things like that. I teach you what all the buttons means, which is super, super important. Obviously, you need to know how to keep your capital safe. If that is if that's your take, and you're approaching a market with those kind of skills, with very advanced analysis skills, very advanced psychological skills to analyze the market, then I think you'd be primed in a very, very good position, in a much better position than otherwise, to take advantage of these kind of moves in the market. That's exactly what we've seen from members like this guy over here. This guy has been in VIP since July. Take a look at what we say all the way down here, sending a lot of dope messages all the way back since July. And because he's been training himself, he's been getting ready for all of this price action since July, he's now, when this market is very hot, he's been able to book really, really big gains. We're even seeing this with members who've joined very, very recently. Obviously, not everyone is making money in the group, and we do have a full disclaimer for you to read, but this person has just been absolutely blowing it out of the water. Not the only one. Like I said, 25 bitcoins here. I don't even know if this is a typo, but I'm gonna hope that it's not. 25 bitcoins off a VIP subscription. That is just absolutely crazy. It's like $300,000 or something. So actually, he did send me a message. I haven't opened it yet. He might have told me, but I mean, these gains are just absolutely huge. By the way, what you're seeing up here is one of our VIP videos, one of my rough VIP videos. Most of them are much, much more professional. But I did outline a trading journal type thing, which I go into a lot of detail on. Actually, the trading journal is the #1 thing that I attribute my success as a trader to. And you can also, as a VIP member, gain access to our entire back catalog of VIP videos. So every VIP video that we've made, which is exclusive to VIP members, you are going to get when you join VIP. And obviously, one of the first things that we do in our welcome video, which I recorded for you all the way up in the Californian mountains, is I tell you to go through it all as much as you can, as far back as you feel comfortable, because it's going to give you a very, very good platform to feel comfortable and safe within these markets. And so, like I said, if you want to gain access to it, our 50% discount does end very, very soon. That kind of preparation is so key. Definitely follow these steps if you want to gain access to it. Click on the first link within the description down below, then click on the @FORFLIES button at the bottom of any post in VIP, and then click send message to ask me how to join VIP. This entire process from start to finish will take you less than 30 seconds. It might just be a very, very valuable 30 seconds for you in the future. Zenolamp, Netherlands, asking same time tomorrow. Maybe. I have been doing very regular live streams lately, and so I might end up doing another stream tomorrow. It depends on what happens in the market. I like to do live streams when things are very hot, when everyone is very, very curious for as to what I'm saying. If you want to see another live stream tomorrow, if you enjoy this kind of content, then definitely subscribe to the channel. Shoot up those likes so that I know this is what you like to see, and I'll definitely put out more of it. Yeah, tomorrow, I mean, most of these live streams I do at similar times purely because I'm conscious of Americans kind of coming back from work around this time, and Europeans, starting to go to bed. So, and America and Europe does make up most of my viewership. So, that's why I'm that's why I'm doing this. Tristan asking, what's the price of VIP? Bro, just follow these steps and you'll be able to contact me. We don't share it publicly, but just follow these steps and you'll get access to it. I'll send you the information in like 30 seconds. So no problem about that. But yeah, I am open to doing more regular live streams. I love doing them, as you know very well. It just depends on when the time is right and when the market is hot. But otherwise, these videos have obviously been very consistent, and I expect that they will continue to be very, very consistent even. All right, with that, I don't think we have any final questions. I can't speak anymore. Thank you, Josh. You're the best as well. I don't offer any broker services, no. What else? Did we have any? We didn't have a whole lot of questions right now today. Yes, Bitcoin is taking a bit of a dump. Ethereum also dropping a little bit as well. So I think looking good for, $400 is a key support area. If it does drop below this area, I'll start to get a little bit more concerned. But at the moment, I quite like what I'm seeing. I still think it's okay. If we do end up falling, my eyes would be on Bitcoin. Where does Bitcoin stop? And from there, I'll look at Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum has been dropping harder than Bitcoin has as well. Toy Wolf, I did look at Ethereum, but only in the VIP channel. And that's because I'm actively trading it. So I'm not sharing details of that publicly because that kind of content is just reserved for VIP members. No more questions. So with that, I'm going to round it up. Hope you have enjoyed this one. It's been actually a short one today, only 47 minutes, but definitely enjoyable nonetheless. Hope you have enjoyed it. Like I said, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to gain access to these videos in the future. Turn the bell, click the bell so that you can get notified about these videos too. Like the video if you haven't already as well, and do join this Telegram channel. If you're not already in it, then you are missing out on a lot of free analysis. It is absolutely beautiful. You don't want to miss out on it, and it's all there for you, completely free of charge. Analysis, voice messages where I give you my thoughts on the market with meta where I give you my meta thoughts, the kind of thoughts which aren't necessarily analysis or trading related, but they're just peripheral to the game, and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of very, very valuable content in that FORFLIES Gold channel, and it is completely free. So if you like this, you're going to love that. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.